I follow the routine, a multi-step routine, as you mentioned. I saw the impact it had on my confidence and my skin. I got compliments from my mom, who never compliments me.
Welcome to Newsweek Conversations. I'm here with Charlotte Zhou, who is a leader in KBeauty. She founded SoCo Glam. We're big fans. It's a skin and beauty revolution that she's leading. And we're going to have a conversation about it. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I am sort of fascinated about how KBeauty came to be. What do you think it is about the 10 steps that has made it so popular? Why did it come to be?
Well, I think the US has really embraced Korean beauty, just how I found out about Korean beauty.
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I also was in the boat of not really understanding skincare. I didn't know how it could impact my skin. But once I moved to Korea, I lived there for 5 years, my world completely turned upside down. I follow the routine, a multi-step routine, as you mentioned. I saw the impact it had on my confidence and my skin. I got compliments from my mom, who never compliments me. And so I knew I found something special, and it really was a moment of self-care. And there's a lot of benefits to skincare that I felt I really loved at that point in my life when I was in my early 20s. And I also just embraced it. And so I wanted to share that with my friends. And I basically started SoCo Glam because of that passion.
So many things that come out of that. First, you already noticed that I don't use skincare regimen. I'm already feeling self-conscious about it. Second, is your mother a first-generation Korean?
Yeah, she immigrated to the US about 40 years ago.
Was the 10-step process around when she immigrated? Did she?
She definitely cared a lot about skincare. She had a lot of tips that I refused to take part in.
Fascinating.
Because I was just American born. I was in California. I love to go tanning. And I was like, what do moms know? You know, it just wasn't top of mind for me.
So that really was a genuine thing when she came and said, oh, wow, you've embraced our culture. It's made a difference. And, you know.
Definitely. And so, yeah, that became my passion to spread this to my friends and to everyone that I knew. And that's kind of the reason why we started SoCo Glam.
So there's one. It's one thing to have a passion and to tell your friends, but if your friends aren't open to it, it doesn't happen. So what do you think changed in the United States that made you at the right place at the right time with the right product to be so successful?
I would say that there's a variety of reasons why Korean beauty became so popular in the US. Yeah. I would say, first of all, there was so many amazing textures, formats, packaging. The ingredients were natural and effective. All of this was also affordable and accessible. So it was at the right price point. It was so exciting. It made skincare fun rather than a chore. And so Americans and people globally, honestly, were embracing the Korean beauty philosophy. And that philosophy includes having a very skin-first mentality. I think growing up, I always thought about covering up my pimples and any blemishes with makeup. I never thought about what can I do to take care of the issue at hand, the actual root cause. And I was too lazy, frankly, to investigate that. I thought skincare was more about, I'll worry about it later. It seems like more of a chore, but with Korean beauty, it brings it front and center, and you also have fun in the process. And it's this enjoyable process where you really embrace self-care, taking care of your skin, being knowledgeable about ingredients. I think KBeauty came at a time where customers and consumers and people actually want to research this. And just like you hear about the Whole30 diet or any of these, workouts and regimens to really improve your health, people are looking to skincare to also improve their well-being as well.
That does seem like a trifecta that you hit, which is natural products that make you feel good about yourself at a good price. I mean, that is a pretty killer combination.
I think it hit the sweet spot. And I think what also was a big part of that is social media too.
Yeah.
Because these brands in Korea that weren't really focused on talking about their products in the US, you could actually spread the word through Instagram without any advertising budgets.
Yeah, that's so true, because you could not have done that 10 years ago.
Right.
You would have had to, have a whole retail strategy and television ads and all of that.
Definitely.
kind of
So that's
stuff.
where all the legacy brands, traditionally played in, and Korean Beauty came in with their innovative formats and their fun packaging and all these new, and they were pushing the envelope with innovation, while the legacy brands, I believe personally, kind of rested on their laurels and weren't really. They were proud about their decade-old formulas that they haven't changed. But in Korea, meanwhile, they're revamping their formulas every year, trying to make improvements, changing formats, and really providing a unique experience every time.
Now, I don't want to sort of make it about price, but correct me if I'm wrong. I sort of, so I'm, I don't use any of these things for my skin. I'm sure I will after this show, but I seem to remember that the other products that I've seen were pretty expensive.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I guess they were in a space where they didn't have much competition.
Right.
And
so the price seemed to be pretty high.
yeah, I would say that I grew up in California, and I remember buying a bottle of toner for $90, and I was in high school, and I was just like, this is insane, because that's so much money for someone in high school.
Yeah.
But that was, I felt like, the only option out there if it was like reliable and credible. So I think Korean Beauty definitely hit that market, this white space, where people were like, wow, this is actually effective and affordable.
Do you have any idea why this was discovered in Korea? I mean, you said that your mother knew these things 40 years ago. What is it about? Did it happen in other countries? What is it about Korea that made that happen?
That's a great question. I think it has to do with the women and men in Korea that have really used skincare as just part of their daily hygiene. They're very knowledgeable about their skin. They take care of it every morning, every night. It's not even a question. Just like how we were born in the US and taught to wash your hands after you use the restroom, brush your teeth morning and night, those type of daily habits is also part of, in Korea, their skincare routine is that their daily habit. So they are so used to this, it's second nature to them, and therefore they become very savvy consumers. Korean cosmetic companies have to service these very savvy consumers, and these consumers are expecting more. They want to see results. They don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it, because they're like, this is part of my daily hygiene. And so therefore the market just really rapidly grew into this very innovative hub of cosmetics.
Okay, so I've never used anything for my skin.
You can tell.
Oh, that's not true. And the idea of using a 10-step process frightens me away.
Yeah.
Like I have 3 steps for my teeth, and that's already frightening. If you were going to get me to do something that is bite-sized, what would it be?
So I think, first of all, disclaimer, the Korean TenStep Skincare routine is not about using 10 products every morning and night. I myself don't use 10 steps every time. Yes. Everyone assumes that I do, but really, just to bring it back a little bit, when we started SoCo Glam, I was telling editors about this amazing routine. It's multi-step, and that they know exactly what to use for what concern they have. And when I go to their houses, on their vanity, you'll see 10 plus products. And she was so intrigued, we started talking about each step and what you can incorporate and how you use it in each step. So then it became a very viral term because it was the Korean 10-step skincare routine, not to be taken literally. You can definitely pick and choose. As long as you have kind of a core, 4-step routine, you can insert any of the treatment products in between. Yes, it can lead up to 10, and some people do it. And I've done it when I have a lot of time over the weekend, but it's not like a daily thing. And skincare doesn't have to be a one-size-fits-all solution at all. It is very customizable to your preferences. So if you're a 2-step, 3-step
what would I do? What should I do?
So I think the first step is just cleansing. You have a lot of impurities resting on your skin. You have natural oils that you produce, pollution that settles on your skin that you can't even see.
I'm sure that's true.
And it actually creates acne and premature aging. So cleansing is number one. And I would start off with an oil cleanser to break down all of that. And then after that, I definitely would use a toner to prep and hydrate your skin. And for another step, if you're okay with 3 steps,
okay,
I'm being
3
very
steps.
selective
So
here.
a cleanser, a toner, and then
a moisturizer.
A moisturizer.
Yeah. So moisturizer will help lock in and protect everything. All the elements, the wind, the sun, everything that will really kind of cause damage to your skin. Like, think of your skin. Okay, I have a good analogy for you.
Yes.
Think of your skin as a leather shoe. When you're not coating and protecting it with, you have some oils or shine.
I'm wearing leather shoes right now.
So you get it shined once in a while.
I do.
So that will coat and protect the leather. If you don't, then it gets exposed to the elements as you're walking around. It'll dry and crack.
It's true.
That same thing goes for your skin. So if there's one takeaway from this conversation, if you can't do the 2 other steps, you can at least moisturize. And that's what keeps your skin very protected from any bacteria. It keeps it sealed and moisturized. So like your natural water that is retained in your skin doesn't dissipate and it doesn't dry and crack. And, if you've seen, I don't know if you've seen people with like really dry, cracked hands from snow or something.
I have.
It's red. It gets bloody sometimes. So your skin does need to be coated and protected. So
that's
the biggest takeaway.
Moisturizer is the biggest takeaway, but really the cleanser and the toner, that'd be where I should start.
Yes, because you always got to start off fresh too, because you don't want to layer on moisturizer on top of unclean skin. So the cleanser.
I'm pretty sure we have those products at our house, so I'll try.
Okay.
When you started your business, you'd gone to Korea, you were there for 5 years. What was the first product you sold? How did you start it what was the first thing you did to get going?
Great question. So my husband, Dave, and I started the company with no expectations that this would be an actual business. It was just purely a passion project, a creative outlet on the weekends. I just wanted to share my love for Korean beauty and skincare. And we literally just had a friend who is a graphic designer create a logo for us as a wedding gift. And we just slapped it on the page. And I uploaded some homemade photos that I took of my own favorite products and put it on this really, really small site and just set it live. And again, because it wasn't meant to be this huge business plan or strategy, there was a lot of kinks. There's a lot of things wrong with it, I would say. It's very endearing looking back at it now, but it was very bare bones, basic, nothing professional about it at all. But people gravitated towards it and loved my personal take on the products, and they loved the education behind it. And so it didn't really matter if I had all these gee whiz, things that sophisticated sites that paid millions of dollars for. It was the very beginnings of really selling beauty products online at that time. Yeah. And so people loved the idea of getting things they couldn't normally get their hands on through this site called SoCo Glam. And I think having my own personal voice on all of the products and explaining how to build a routine really gravitated more and more people to our site in a very organic way. And I would say that SoCo Glam is still what it was 7 years ago when we first started. We are still hyper-focused on education. We, in fact, built a whole site called a clog dedicated to skincare content because skincare is such a complex beast. We want to provide curated content for that. Yep. And also, we offer one-on-one skin consultations. So our site, SoCo Glam, is not just a retailer where you buy things. It's so much more than that. It's a whole ecosystem of content, skincare education to get people on the right foot for their skincare journey, one-on-one skincare advice from skin experts. And you could actually do that through text messaging because we found that through many, many tests, people love to just get their answers through text now.
They do. And it's instantaneous.
It is. And you could wait, you don't even have to respond to it right away because it's coming throughout the day. Yeah. And so we have a lot of people engaged with us in our community due to that kind of hand-holding through the skincare journey. Wow. And so all of our advice is customized, and we will make a routine for you based on your budget, your lifestyle, your concerns, your skin goals. And so that's what's really special about SoCo Glam, because I think it still has that essence of how we started and where we are today, but a much larger scale, but still holding true to our beliefs.
When did you quit your day job, whatever that was, to go and do this full time? When was that tipping point?
So I was actually still in Korea when we uploaded the site and pressed publish. Dave got into business school in New York. So at that time, I felt that I wanted something to keep me connected to Korea because I knew there was no chance of me kind of coming back and living again. So it compelled me to really move forward with SoCo Glam because of this kind of connection I had with Korea. And so that really drove me through all the hard times of not knowing what the heck I was doing in the beginning.
So that's that was one of my questions, was because you grew up in California.
Yeah.
You went to Korea, and I don't know if you knew this, California is closer to Korea than New York. Did you know that? Yeah. And then you came to New York to start this thing where you have to go back to Korea all the time.
Yep.
But the reason you moved here was for business school for your husband?
Yeah, so we moved to New York and it was perfect because we were right in the mecca of beauty and media. And so I really got to utilize my PR background to talk about Korean beauty in a way that people really embraced and loved.
So you do feel New York was the right choice?
It was definitely the right choice.
So your site is an aggregation of
Yeah.
a bunch of different brands.
Right. Over 60.
Over 60 brands. And then you've got 61, which is Then I Met You.
Yes.
Is there any issues that have come up because you're both promoting your own brand along with the other brands?
I actually do not get any pushback from any of the brands because they know the kind of relationship we have with our customers. So when we first started Then I Met You, we kept it separate from SoCo Glam. So we didn't actually carry it on SoCo Glam. It had its own site. Again, we did the harder route.
Are you selling it through other retailers as well?
No, just for the first year. So Then I Met You has only been around for a year and 3 months. And during that time, majority of the time, we actually only had it on thenimetyou.com. So it wasn't even on SoCo Glam, which get millions of uniques per month to visit and learn about skincare.
Right.
And everyone thought we were crazy again. And the reason why I decided to do that is because Then I Met You has its own unique brand. It has this concept of Chung that I love to share through storytelling, and it deserves to live on its own site called thenimetyou.com. And that's a place where it could stand on its own 2 feet. And so for a whole year we did that, and we built our own community based on Then I Met You. And now recently we did have some of our products now on SoCo Glam, available on SoCo Glam, which has been great. But that was kind of a decision we made because we really didn't want to talk about this special brand in the midst of all of these other brands.
Right.
We gave it its own spotlight for a whole year. And I think that was very special. I'm so glad we did that, even though it was a harder path.
What made you launch it? What was missing in the market that caused you to launch it?
I think I have a very unique lens and perspective on skincare because I've literally tested hundreds of thousands of products over all of this, this 7-year journey with SoCo Glam. I've engaged with so many customers in real life. I have all of their reviews and just customer inquiries that come through that talk about their concerns, their wishes, and their wants. And so finally, after not only collaborating on several products with the brands that I love on SoCo Glam, I was like, I'm ready. So 5 years into my journey, I started basically creating my own products. And I do think there are products out there that are not perfect and that I wish I could improve. And kind of the dirty secret of the skincare industry is that a lot of these products that are on the shelves are coming from just like a white labeling strategy. So these are products that exist out there, but a brand will put their label on it and call it their own. And it's just a product that anyone could take off the shelf.
Yeah.
And so there's nothing unique about it. It's kind of an old formula. It really doesn't do much. It's not that special, but it's out there for them to put their label on it.
Yeah.
It's very rare to actually see a lot of new innovation and new formulas created from scratch. But that's my perspective. I want to build from scratch because I have such a unique lens. I have really the community who's been speaking to me very intimately and understanding what their wants and desires are, and creating that into a holy grail product on Then I Met You has kind of been my next stage.
What do you think is the future of KBeauty? Is it a new product? Is it a new ingredient? What do you think is the next big new thing?
I think KBeauty is synonymous to innovation, and there's so much trust that has been built even over the past 6 years. So with Korea having that kind of foundation, they're going to continue to show the world what they're capable of, and a lot of the manufacturing is going to be translated out in Korea and made and built there. So I think that's really exciting for the Korean market. I think that's really exciting. And also I'm seeing a merge of Western philosophies and Asian philosophies coming together, because there's honestly great innovations on both sides as well. And just fitting that formulation for a more global market. I see a lot of that happening. I see a lot of Korean brands offering more shades for their makeup as well, because they realize, hey, we actually have a customer base outside of Korea, that's really interested in us. So there's a lot of developments there. I think the ingredients will constantly be innovative, and the formats and textures you'll always see something new coming out of Korea.
Thank you so much for coming. It's been a real pleasure having you.
I hope that you learned a little bit about skincare and motivated to.
Oh my God, I learned a lot more than a little bit about skincare, but it's easy to go from 0 to 1.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.